Yo!
What's up, kids? Welcome to the Jersey Shore Spirits Podcast. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Shannon. Happy New Year! I don't know how to fade this thing out.
I wish we had a fader for this thing. It would be kind of
I think we'll just try to hit it on a beat. Something like that.
And you know what's awesome, Shannon? I heard it this week.
Wow.
I know what it sounds like.
The cool thing is we had all this time in between podcasts to figure out how these things work, and we have neglected.
And we still have not figured out how these things work.
And I think that's good, though, because I think that's kind of what our trajectory is, and that's been a big keyword of mine for a week.
Jumping on the fly.
That's kind of just what we're going to be doing for a while. I think anytime you're going to bust into any kind of new business, you're going to be just running on the fly, learning as you go, prioritizing what you need to troubleshoot.
We have no clue what we're doing.
No, and I don't really intend on that changing. You know, I think there's a certain whimsical charm to that. I think people are drawn to that.
I hope so. Welcome to the Jersey Shore Spirits Podcast.
It's 2026. This is our first podcast of the new year.
Numero uno.
We haven't done this in a while. We've seen each other a few times over this holiday break.
Yeah,
it's been
we
nice.
haven't been strangers.
The holiday party that you had was very nice.
Thank you.
You had a lot of people here in the D Street Bar.
Thank you.
Nice spread of delicious food. There was some great drinks. Some Three Brooks bourbon was flowing.
There was some cool drinks, and there was lots of bourbon, and there was lots of other things, and it was a good time.
There was a lot of good people. A lot of good people were here. I wanted to send a shout out to the Kinslers, man.
Chris, you better listen to this.
I love seeing the Kinslers. Chris and Sam are super cool, and they're always very happy and kind. And I think from where I see it, they're just very genuine. And so Kinsler squad, it was very nice to see you for the holidays. I appreciate you.
They are. At some point, Mr. Kinsler will be on this podcast, I believe. I've talked to him about it.
Well, you got to let me know because I want to make sure that I'm matching him style for style. Like I need to get my thread count up. I need to match my belt to my shoes. The quarter zip I need to get in.
Might be the suit episode. Might have to get dressed up.
He's a dapper looking guy, man. Solid dude. But shout out to you guys. It was cool to see you. How was your holiday break, man?
Quiet. I didn't really do anything. It was very quiet, like sit at home. I haven't really been out very much. I mean, I've been around here or, at the space, the yet to be determined and announced space.
We're going to talk about that.
It's been a pretty active, honestly, it's been a pretty active break over there. And starting tomorrow, I expected to get super active. So,
yeah, we're going to get
so what a transition we have here.
So, well, you know what? Let's get right into it. My holiday break was great. Thank you. Appreciate it for asking. Thanks for asking. Good guy.
I've seen you almost every day. We talk like every 10 minutes. I know. I forget that everybody else doesn't know how your holiday break was, but
that's cool. I'll show myself out. No problem. You can do this on your own. See ya. Before we talk our building updates, and I think we have a lot of expansive information today, so we can talk about a lot of different areas of our business in 2026.
Hold up. Let's do how was your break? You started to get into it.
It was cool. Yeah, it was good. Hey, listen, it's always a success when no one at home is fighting. So the kids got along. The house didn't burn down.
Got a new toy.
Yeah. Oh, fudge. Excuse me.
That's a big momentous thing.
I had to get a new car. I'm a Subaru guy. I inherited one years ago, and it was just, my sweetheart. So I've been driving one ever since. This is my fourth. And on Christmas Eve, I was working at my other part-time dead-end job, which I love so much. It gets me out of the house, puts cash in my pocket, and I only have to do what I need to do. It's good. But my car died on Christmas Eve. And I knew this thing was, where's that little thing?
I don't know your noises.
Yeah, here it is. Rest in peace. I knew it had a little bit of a problem. It's been on its 9th and 10th life for the last few months, but I had to pull over into a Wawa parking lot, one on County Line, our go-to.
Wawa.
And I just had all kinds of stuff spewing out of the engine, man. There was coolant, steam everywhere. So I was able to at least use it to get to a dealership. I went to Pine Belt Subaru. I'm not really one for pushing out larger corporations and businesses, but when you have good experience, I think it's important to let the people know.
Good.
Pine Belt Subaru in Lakewood, my guy Gio, he also sold Colleen his car, and my mother-in-law works there, so I guess I'm a little bit biased, but I got such a hookup on a 22 Forester. I was looking to spend a little less money, but they really hooked me up. So if you are in need of a vehicle, go check out my guy Gio at Pine Belt Subaru. They did a fantastic job. I know anytime you go to buy a car or lease a car, it's an all-day experience.
Yeah.
It is. Lucky for us, we were only there for just a couple of hours. We were in and out. It was a quick transaction, and I'm sure in the next month or so, when my car payment kicks in, I'll have a completely different tune to tell. But yeah, new car. I'm feeling good. We drove it to Hershey this weekend. We did. Yeah, we went. The idea, now that I'm technically almost an adult, I'll be 40 soon, Chuck.
I like how that's an adult for you.
Almost an adult. We made the decision that I should get a much better car. That way we could help out Colleen's car, keep the miles off of hers, kind of share them. Plus, this one is like the camping edition. So, my plan is if things go south between Colleen and I can get the tent that goes on top. And I got a mobile home now, dude. So it's
same with my pickup. I can put a tent on the back of the pickup.
It's a good contingency plan, So if you just see a blue Subaru outside of the distillery 7 days a week,
the family truckster.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was pretty much the break. I'll talk a little bit more about my trip to Hershey. I wanted to discuss something really cool with you that I saw.
Yeah, you said.
February. Is it February? What do we have going on in February?
February, as far as the distillery goes?
No. As far as the worst day of the year for me.
Or the best day of the year.
For you.
We are officially registered for the Polar Bear Plunge.
Polar Bear Plunge, Seaside Heights. Do you know the date on that off the top of your
February
head?
28th.
February 28th.
Last Saturday of February.
So that's the last day.
Last day of it.
Of February. Now, Polar Bear Plunge does a lot of good stuff. What do they raise money for?
So every penny that they raise goes to the Special Olympics, New Jersey.
And how long have you been doing Polar Bear Plunge for?
This is my, I want to say 18th year.
Okay. And you've done this as an individual. You've used some of your different businesses to create teams, right?
So I started it. I was a member of a group, but I joined as an individual in that group. I was actually volunteered to do it the first year I did it. That was like 2000. I think it was 2008. And then since then, just kind of like I had some friends who were like, oh, we want to do it with you. Then at one point, we joined another team. Then we had such a large group that we just formed our own team.
Yeah.
And then probably maybe just before COVID, I want to say COVID, I think is actually the only year that I didn't do it. It was like a plunge at home on your own in your bathtub. And I was like, I'll pass on that. Thank you.
We're going to reserve my judgment for personal conversations.
I do enjoy the camaraderie of being there with a million people in Seaside. It is a good day. Yeah. And then a couple, maybe like somewhere around COVID, just before COVID, we started doing it as like, let's tag our businesses to it and see if we could raise extra money through the business and stuff like that. Every year our team in the last couple of years has raised north of $7,000. I think last year we might've been $8,000.
Yeah.
So we're getting up there. Our goal is always 10,000. I think we have a shot to hit it this year if we get a big enough team. Obviously, the size of the team matters, so people come and join Freehold Distilling Company's Polar Bear Plunge team. I was trying to remember which team we named it this year.
Yeah. I know last year we had the JSS team, Jersey Shore Spirit Squad. The shirts were sick. I still have mine.
Yeah, if you join our team, you get not only do you get the shirt from the Polar Bear Plunge for raising enough money, but you also get a shirt from us for joining the team. And
it's cool because there's so many different incentives for the amount of money that you raise. I think last year I got the hoodie, I got the cooler, and I got the beach towel.
Same.
Which was solid. And it was a cool design. I like it.
The towel is really nice, actually. The beach towel they gave is really nice.
It's a thick one with 2 C's. It's a good one. Now, I'm going to be very open and vulnerable here, Chuck. I think you know where this is going.
I do.
The last few years with Polar Bear Plunge, I have had things happening, right? Like a few years ago, it was my nephew's birthday party. So I raised money, didn't go. Then a couple years ago, I don't know what happened, but I raised money, didn't go. And this last year, I raised the most money I'd ever raised. And I showed up and got completely wrecked.
Which is not... there's always one every year that is pretty like ripped up, so it's not out of the ordinary to see somebody wrecked.
You got to get yourself amped up to get into this cold ocean, which I do remember going in. It was a very it was a very spiritual experience getting into this large ocean with a bunch of people and feeling the force of nature and realizing just how small you are in this world.
It is a great experience. People constantly first thing they always say to you is like, I'm not doing that. It's freezing cold. And I'm like, well, number one, you usually got a half a load on when you get in there. So it's not as cold as you think it is.
Right.
And to be completely honest, we've probably done it the last 4 out of 5 years where it wasn't that cold out. It was like in the high 60s.
So where like the water was
so
maybe
the water's
warmer.
cold, but
Yeah.
it's warm enough out. Like I did it one time when it was, I gotta ask Jeremy, it had to be like 0 degree, like it was in the single digits with like 30 or 40 mile an hour winds. You got out of the water and your muscles tensed up immediately because it was so cold outside. And that was like the second or third year we did it. It was a really long time ago. But the last couple of years hasn't been that. So you get out of the water, and by the time you wrap yourself with a towel, you're kind of warm already.
Yeah, I remember
on the beach, and you're back at the bar.
I found a tent that was all vacated, and I went in and did my thing. Met you guys back at the spot. You know, it's interesting hearing the date of the polar bear plunge this year as February 28th. Last year on February 28th, that was the day that I had surgery. So
Was it really?
the weekend of polar bear plunge last year
was before that.
I was waiting to find out from a doctor if I had cancer or not. And
didn't you know at that point?
I had a very strong idea. I had seen
I thought we knew
the
at that
scans.
point.
It wasn't confirmed. You know, these doctors got to get you in and get their copay. And I had kind of known, you know, when things happen to your body, you just know, like, all right, this has got to be worst case. So I was really in that set. And I just have to send a lot of love to our entire team last year for making sure that I came home safely in one piece.
Richie
and Dave
Richie
and yourself, everyone in Jackson was like, "Oh man, that poor guy. Just let him go. Let him do his thing. He's
not leaving until you lay on the couch." That was
harmless.
my favorite moment of the night. Okay,
and look, I don't get like that very often. I think for very good cause. I was certainly getting in touch with those emotions, but
it was like you fell in the pool of your couch. You
and
just
it was
like fine, and you just put your arms up and fell into the couch.
And I woke up like, "Whoa, what happened yesterday?"
Yeah, because you drank a lot
with no hangover, which was amazing.
That was amazing.
No hangover. So my little public service announcement, and I'll talk more about this closer in the spring, but gentlemen, please check your testicles. Make sure that you don't have cancer. It's very important. And if you'd like to join our Polar Bear Plunge team for Freehold Distilling Company, Chuck, where can we do that?
Please do. So if you go to the site, which is njpolarplunge.org, I believe is the site for the seaside. Make sure you're at the seaside. Special Olympics Polar Plunge, and then just look up join a team, Freehold Distilling Company, and just join the team. You'll see my name on there. I think I'm the only one that's signed up so far.
Right on. Cool.
But we do, we'll start piling them in. They come fast and furious at some point.
You're a team of one. Look at that.
I'm a team of one, but we need to be a team of
cannonball right
30.
In there. I think we could go 30 strong.
Yeah, I think we were in the 30s last year, so we should get up there again.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
He doesn't have a choice.
I'm a baby. Listen, man, now I have nothing to cry about this year.
But we are working on something really cool the day of, if we can make it happen. I'm not sure if we can yet or not. We're trying to locate someone. So if you know somebody that has a bar or restaurant in the Seaside Boardwalk area, please let us know.
Yeah, we're looking for a spot to do something cool. So hit us up.
We always hang out at the same spot. We may or may not be going back there this year. We're kind of just trying to see if we could find a spot that can help us do some of the stuff we want to do when we're out there that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And February, I mean, that's going to be after the Super Bowl, right? I think the Super Bowl is the second week.
It is going to be after
February.
The Super Bowl,
yeah. So speaking of the Super Bowl, we got the last week of the NFL, and I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm not really a big NFL fan anymore, just because my team has left San Diego. I am a fantasy football guy. Sad news. I lost my fantasy championship. I lost to my buddy Steve. My team just didn't want to show up. And that's okay. I still got like $1,200 on the season, so I'll take it. But I would have loved more than that to pay for this beautiful new car that I just got. Now I know you're a Giants guy, and I'm so
my
sorry.
team hasn't shown up all year either.
I apologize for you.
Until the last 2 weeks, they haven't shown up.
Now they're playing the Cowboys now.
As we speak, we've got the game on in the background.
Of course, they're winning, because why wouldn't they
win the last 2 games and go from 1 to, what did we say it was, 7?
Right. So right now, most of these teams, like the Raiders, who I think have clinched the 1 pick for next year.
There's a scenario. Well, if they beat the Chiefs today, but there's no way they're going to even try.
Well, you know what? Without Mahomes and some of those other guys might not be playing, it's possible.
Yeah, the Raiders put their hands behind their back last week when they played.
Well, of course they did. They want the pick. Now, for you as a Giants fan, I know that, in my opinion, ever since the Eli Manning days for the Giants, and as a Chargers fan, a former Chargers fan, you know, the Giants could have had Phillip Rivers and the Chargers could have had Eli Manning. But as we all know, Eli Manning is a huge crybaby and has absolutely no humility. And honestly, if it weren't for 2 Super Bowl rings, probably wouldn't even be considered in any conversation in terms of being a Hall of Fame quarterback because his face is too ugly. And I'm sorry, did I go on a little rant there? I'm so sorry about that. Now,
Jesus.
with Giants fans, I feel bad for you guys over the last however many years because it's been difficult to see that team that had that little Super Bowl run, kind of owned Tom Brady, and now digging through the sticks of professional sports. What's your realistic outlook on the New York Giants moving forward?
I think the New York Giants, more than the number 1 draft pick, need a head coach. Look, here's the reality. Look at their season this year, and I believe it was 4 games or 5 games. They lost it at the very end of the game.
Absolutely.
Like the very end of the game.
Yep.
That is just horrific coaching, right? So, Daboll, I was glad that he was gone when he was gone. I'll be interested to see who they get as a head coach next year. I'm actually more interested in that than what their draft pick is. Because I do think Jackson Dart will be the quarterback of the future for them. I think they're okay on quarterback, which, as you know, is the most important position on that field. That to me, getting the number 1 draft pick was more of, we could trade this to somebody and get a couple of nice draft picks, a couple of good, solid draft picks out of it. I want to see who they get for that coach. That's kind of more.
How do you feel about them getting rid of their GM?
Joe Shane?
Yeah.
I think they should.
I think he's fumbled a lot more than he's scored in his time.
The issue with getting rid of Joe Shane is typically the GM wants to also be the guy that brings in the quarterback.
Well, I mean, what do you have to lose at this point?
I think there would be plenty of people that would be interested in that position, right? Because they're going to get a good draft pick either way this year. And they're bringing in a head coach, so he'll have say of who that would be.
Yeah.
Or,
And I think Jackson Dart can play. I mean, if there's anything good that came from the Giants this year, it's that they realized Jackson Dart can be the real deal. I think he can. He's a good pocket passer. He can scramble with his legs. I think he knows the game very well.
He moves well.
Yeah, and I think as long as they have their offensive line in order, I mean, think about their running backs this year. You had Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah.
That was your one.
Had a lot of big injuries this year, too.
When you have some players doing their thing, you're good. But with this GM now, you think about how they mishandled Saquon. Even from drafting him.
My favorite is if you've ever seen the Hard Knocks where Mara comes in and he's like, please let him go to anybody but the Eagles.
Yep. And there he goes, right to the Eagles. Think about the quarterback room they have now. They have Jackson Dart, who was number 3 quarterback. You have Russell Wilson as your 1.
We just talked about the other day.
As your 2.
I keep forgetting Russell Wilson's on this team.
I saw him on the sideline the other day. I was like, man, this guy's he was on the New Year's Eve show with like Ryan Seacrest or something. Like, of all people to be on that stage, he could be the most hated man in New York sports right now.
Yeah.
Right? Russell Wilson, like, what are you doing? You're just wasting money on this guy. He's still there with his poop-eating grin.
I think if Daboll stayed around, then they probably would have played him a lot more this year.
Maybe. I mean, he showed that he was absolute trash. Jameis Winston's my guy, though. I'm a big fan of Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
He had that cool, Eric was at that game, the Lions-Giants game, where Jameis, they had that little like bootleg play, and he got out and caught the touchdown.
Yep.
That was cool. All right. Well, New York Giants, best of luck to you.
Let's see what happens.
New York Jets, I don't even know if you're a professional team still.
Yeah, when people say, "Oh, you're a Giants fan," and give me that face, I'm like, it could be worse. I could be a Jets fan.
I've been trying to look for a team, and it's hard because I'm a San Diego guy, so I really want to root for my local sports team. I can't root for the Giants just because of my history with them as a Chargers fan. The Jets I try to root for, but again, they had LaDainian Tomlinson one year with Mark Sanchez, and they bumped the Chargers from the playoffs. And if one team came out and said, hey, we're going to be the New Jersey whatever, I'd be on board. But there was a little glimmer of hope for me this season where I felt that little spark of what it's like to root for a football team again when Phillip Rivers came out and played for the Colts. And it was a nice little 3-week run that he had. I was hoping that they were going to win last week against Houston to keep him playing today so that they could potentially go into the playoffs. But you know what? Seeing his story, and for those of you that aren't familiar with Phillip Rivers, he left football 5 years ago. He was on the ballot as a semifinalist for the Hall of Fame this year. Daniel Jones goes down. the Colts play lackluster, and Phillip Rivers was coaching a team that his son was on, running the same exact offense. And they called him up and said, hey, we need a guy to come in. Do you want to be on our practice squad? Knowing that if he was activated, he would give up his Hall of Fame bid.
Yeah.
And he rolled up, and his whole message was, I don't want to live a life where there's no regrets or say what if. He knew what it was going to be. And now he's got to wait another 5 years to get back into that Hall of Fame run. But he also secured health insurance for his family, which is very large, for the next 5 years. So
how does retired benefits work for the NFL?
I think they have a certain amount of time that they're able to collect them.
Okay.
Post NFL career.
You would think in that, like, they should give those guys health insurance.
Well, they should.
For life.
We're talking about the NFL. They're
these guys are
nickel
making-
and diming everyone.
I know, that's just, when, especially in the NFL, of all the places where you need that. I mean, those guys, their bodies are just destroyed by the time they leave the NFL.
And I mean, listen, if those guys make solid investments with their money, like how many NFL guys or even professional athletes do you hear of that squander all their money and then all of a sudden they're like in an O.J. Simpson situation where they're selling off all their memorabilia because they're just wasting. Now, I guess O.J. is a little different, a whole
that's a different kind of squandering his money.
Well, the glove didn't fit.
I mean, the problem is, I think a lot of these guys come into that league and they're like, oh, look, I'm making so much money, and they don't realize, well, it's such a short window.
Yeah.
If you divide that up by, whatever 30 years you're not going to be playing for, it's not that much money, unless you're one of the top guys. If you're one of the top guys, different story.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I feel like once we get Eric back on here, we can see what his take is on athletes and their salaries and benefits. I feel like he'd be a good one to talk. Maybe even Jared too would be a good one to talk to about that.
Yeah. I mean, Eric definitely is in the thick of that a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
with the breaks and stuff like that.
And my experience is only limited to my undying hatred for the Los Angeles Dodgers and all of their deferments. So that's really all that I know about in terms of athletes.
Well, the MLB players, I believe, do get lifetime health benefits after their.
There's for them.
They draw a pension too, if I'm not mistaken.
They should. I mean, you think about the levels or the tiers of players and the amount. It's so skewed, the compensation for professional baseball players.
Even in baseball, I mean, you go to the lower tiers and you go to the minor leagues, and these guys literally make like $1,500 a month to play in the minor league. They make nothing.
Yeah, you go to the ballpark and see them play, and then they're going to be taking your order at Longhorn later.
Yeah, some of them might be. I mean,
good for them.
We have
Nothing
a local stadium
that.
right here, and I was involved with them for a little bit, doing some stuff for them, and I have heard the stories of like they basically put ads in the paper for people that are looking to host families for players.
Yep.
Happens every summer. I'm sure it's just coming around to starting to happen soon. And that's because they just basically give them room, board, and like a stipend to play.
Yeah. And the cool thing about that is if you are one of those host families, you're kind of playing the lottery. I mean, not only are you showing kindness and you're probably a fan of the team. I mean, we can say the team name here. We've got and I will call them the Lakewood Blue Claws right here next to us.
Yep.
But one story that I always loved was the great Philly Ryan Howard, who I believe was a National League MVP at some point in his career. He had a host family because he was a Lakewood Blue Claw. And when he got paid, he took care of that family. Like he gave them a nice little check and hooked him up.
I would say the majority of them are just doing it because they enjoy baseball and want to help these kids. I don't think the majority of them are looking for like a payday, but I'm sure there are some people that are.
Once I get a bigger house, any Lakewood Blue Claw, you can come stay at my house. Once you sign, I'm just looking for a little bit off the top. That's all. Nothing crazy.
I'm just looking for baseball too. Well, actually, I don't want to go see the Phillies.
You want to talk a little baseball? Because I know in the car the other day you were waiting for the hot stove to turn up, and I think there was some movement on the Yankee front.
Not really.
They signed someone to like a minor league deal.
Yeah, not really. The hot stove baseball hasn't changed much in a week. Well, actually, that's not true. The Japanese pitcher got signed. I don't remember his. I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Imani or something like that.
Is that the dude who he went to Houston, right?
He went to Houston. Well, I don't know if it's official yet, but he did agree to a contract with Houston.
Okamoto's the other one.
And
He's the third baseman that went to Toronto.
Yeah. Blue Jays are going to be so good this year.
I know the Pods got one dude. They got one of those other Korean players. Couldn't tell you. I mean, and the thing about those players is that while their numbers look great in the other leagues, you see these guys come over sometimes, and there is a transitional period where it might take them a year or two to catch up to the major league speed of the game, whether it's the hitting or just the pace of play. But there are a lot of good free agents still left on the board.
You want to do some predictions right now?
Sure.
Let's do some predictions. So winner, whoever gets the most predictions brings. I don't know. We go for drinks or something.
All right.
You
I'm
pick
always
it.
down. Always down.
All right, so let's go through them. Kyle Tucker. Let's start at the top.
Well, was currently on the Cubs, right? Or had it.
He was on the Cubs.
Yeah.
Where do you think he's going?
I'm sorry, New York, but he's not going to either of those teams. I think he's going to.
We got to write this stuff down.
I think he's going to go back to Chicago.
I am going to say he is going to. I got one of two teams in my head. I'm going to say the Blue Jays.
I wanted to say Blue Jays, but after signing them and having the Bo Bichette problem, which will be another prediction.
They know they're right there to get over that hump, and they want to get over that hump. I think they're signing Kyle Tucker.
All right. But the Blue Jays have signed so many people already. Well, maybe not so many
I'll
people,
go further.
But they have put a lot of money.
I still don't doubt that Bo Bichette's going back to the Blue Jays, but let's put him on the next on the list. Bo Bichette.
You think he's going to go back to Blue Jays?
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't think he's going to the Blue Jays. I am actually going to say, if I can go first here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say the Yankees take Bo Bichette this year.
I've heard that too. I wonder what his contract is going to command. And I mean, if the Yankees go in on him,
he's going to get a 4-year contract.
What do you think he's getting paid? 20 plus?
It's going to be 20. Yeah, 20 something.
So you think Bichette's going to go
$80
Yankees?
to $100 million, 4 years, New York Yankees.
And is he primarily shortstop or second base?
He said he would move to second base if he had to. So and they've been talking about moving Jazz Chisholm. So I think if they trade Jazz Chisholm, I think he will be the second baseman.
I'm going to say he stays in Toronto.
It's going to be such a monster team.
And the only reason I think he stays in Toronto is because he hasn't signed anywhere else yet.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. I said in the beginning of the second, I could see him going back to Toronto, and then they would have. They're just going to be a good team next year.
Who else we got? We got Tucker. We got Bichette.
Cody Bellinger.
You know what? I'm going to say it. And I don't know if this is going to work out, but I like the Mets to get him. I do.
I could see the Mets trying to get him. And as much as I would like him to be back at the Yankees, I think somebody is going to go over the top and offer him a big contract, years-wise, because he wants 7 years. And I think the Yankees are pretty steady on 4 or 5 years. He is going to San Francisco.
With the Gigantes, man. I'm trying to think of who they have out there in outfield. I know they got...
but don't forget he can play first base, too. He's pretty mobile. I mean...
My only concern with him is just looks like he's high all the time.
My only concern with him is he's just so up and down, right? Like he had 1 year, he was almost out of baseball. And that was the year, I think, after his MVP season. So, I say San Francisco. They're trying to compete out west.
They always are. I like that about them. I mean, they've always been a scrappy team.
They've been desperate for players. I mean, they're just trying,
Got to bring in the right guys. I like Chapman on that team. I do like Devers on that team. I think once they get that full season together and Devers can get away from all of that trade noise and Boston.
Is Devers playing third for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He is playing third because he was like, I honestly
he wouldn't play for the Red Sox.
I think he would have played first base for them too. It was like a big FU when Devers went to San Francisco.
Well, because it was play first base or you're leaving and he didn't want to play first base.
But they do have Chapman at third base too. So I think they might alternate, or it might be like a platoon defensively. And then one of them is always a DH.
Yeah.
What else we got? We got Tucker, Bichette, Bellinger.
Framber Valdez.
Here's the thing about Valdez. I don't think he's going to be what he has always been for Houston with, he's how many complete games does he throw a year? He's a dominant pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was the ace before. I think he's still a solid 2-3 starter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to say that my San Diego Padres get him. He seems like an AJ Preller pick.
I am going to say the New York Mets get Framber Valdez because they desperately, if they don't get him, I don't know who's starting for them. You might be able to go and play for them next year.
And I wouldn't.
They need a starter.
No, I would rather work the concession stand. I would pick up, goose poop in the spring. I'm not playing for that team. Sorry, Mike, and anyone else that's a Mets fan.
We got a lot of Mets at the Distillery.
I feel bad for the Mets. I really do. It's like they just can't get out of their own way. And I think it's one of those things where, once the Mets have one good season or they do one great thing, they never stop talking about it. Mets fans in particular. You get Soto. Oh, it's going to be so great. Really? Is it? because the whole team is imploding now. And I think Juan Soto has a little bit to do with that.
For sure.
Not even just his contract. I mean, there's a reason why he doesn't work out with these teams. You know, like with the Padres, he was an absolute train wreck. Well, when you have 3 or 4 superstars on one team and the new guy comes in and wants to be the face and has to hit in this spot and has to do this, it's difficult.
I think if he would resolve to not being that guy, like he wants to be that guy, if he would resolve to not being like that, like, hey, I'm a team player, I'm with everybody, like, you know, I think that's what he was on the Yankees, and that's why he played so well on the Yankees. And I think they were expecting that again. And first of all, if they don't get somebody to hit behind Juan Soto this year, Juan Soto is going to break the season walks record.
Yeah,
that's a prediction I'll give.
They need that. They need that player. I mean, them not bringing back Pete was, I don't want to say it was shocking, but
it wasn't shocking because they made it pretty apparent the last few years that they weren't going to ever pay Pete. They don't want Pete,
which is wild.
Because frankly, if you look at the Orioles, I think the Orioles are going to be a good team this year.
You said that last week. Yep.
The AL East is going to be a beast of a division. I mean, the Yankees might be 4th place this year, and 3rd or 4th. And look at the Yankees; they're still a great team. I mean, even the way they're built right now, but they need a few things. They need some hitters.
Well, the one thing I like about the Yankees, and please keep in mind, all you listeners, I'm a San Diego guy, so I don't really like anything about the Yankees because of the 1998 World Series, and that was the year that I moved here, and everyone was just a certified a-hole to me.
Tough year to be a Padres fan.
Moving to New Jersey, where everyone's a Yankee fan, but I do like as it is now, their pitching rotation doesn't look bad. I mean, you get Garrett Cole.
If Garrett Cole comes back, which is I think like late April, they're saying now, and Rodon will come back probably right after that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It is a hell of a rotation.
You got
it is a
Fried in
really
there.
Good rotation. You got Fried. It would be Cole, Fried, whichever way you want to put them. 1, 2, Rodon, Hill.
You got to get Hill in there.
Schlittler.
Yep.
Like they have good young guys. They have good
Warren is still in there somewhere, right? Or is he bullpen? Will Warren?
No, Will Warren is not. It's I can't think of his name, but he's injured, and it's like his 2nd Tommy John he's getting. So I think he's going to be gone for a while.
Fun. Tommy John, man.
But they still, and they're looking for a pitcher. I just heard that they're talking about trading for somebody from the Marlins, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, probably
I read
Cabrera.
it this morning. Yeah.
Which the Marlins, again, they should have been a team that has done better than what they've done, because at one point they had, in my opinion, one of the better pitching rotations in the National League.
Yeah. I mean, the Yankees had a good pitching rotation last year too. Their bullpen is what blew up on them, right? Like they just, Devin Williams had like the most blown saves in American League last year, I believe, or maybe baseball.
Now he's on the Mets. Let's go.
Weaver had I actually think Weaver, if he can bounce back, will have a great year with the Mets. Devin Williams, he's a little bit of a head case. So I think it's just, you're going to get what you get. He's still a good closer, but he's just, you're going to blow a lot of games with Devin
I always
Williams.
Liked him as a setup guy. And
when they put him in the 8th last year, he killed it, but they also picked and chose when he pitched in the 8th. If you looked at the games.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to put him in on a lot of pressure games. And that's how he kind of bounced back a little bit last year.
There was one game against the Padres where he was in and he gave up a few runs and it was looking like he was going to lose the game, and they escaped and the Yankees won, but he's just not the Devin Williams you're used to seeing.
He's not
from
the
Milwaukee.
He's not the same guy.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that Brewer team had Williams and then Hader.
Yeah,
that's a wild 8-9 bullpen.
Yeah, haters.
This podcast is just quickly getting late.
This podcast has nothing to do with anything.
Let's move on from sports. We do love sports here. If you don't like sports, that is a bummer for you. Although there are some cool sports that I've noticed on the different ESPN channels, like professional cornhole. I guess maybe that's it. I've seen pickleball on there. I saw this other like weird, like Nerf looking kind of game.
Do you remember during COVID, the games that were on like the ESPN, whatever, like ESPN Ocho or whatever?
Yeah.
Were like pillow fighting.
Oh, I saw a pillow fighting one the other day. What was
the really good one? Like cup stacking.
The smacking one is good.
Yeah.
The smack where like people just like professionals.
Like 2 Russians smacking each other till they pass out. Yeah.
Powder up their hands and get going.
Yeah, there used to be crazy stuff on there.
Well, the only way I could be in a professional smacking competition is if I owned a distillery that was close to opening in 2026. And I think maybe that's something we should start to talk about, we've got a lot of things going on here with Jersey Shore Spirits and Get Ready with Tea and Three Brooks Bourbon and Freehold Distilling Company, that it's a lot to keep up with. And the last few weeks, really since the last time we had a podcast, there have been a lot of major things going on. The first thing I want to get to is that we have partnered up with a new marketing company.
Yes, sir.
That we are going to meet with this week. We have a whole roadmap.
Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things going on. Really great guys over at 3B Dreams, based out of Asbury Park.
At some point, I would imagine we would have a podcast with them on the podcast.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I think their vision just aligns with ours in terms of just the way we see the world and where we see this business going. But it's nice to be able to meet with like-minded individuals and kind of connect on a personal level before it's more of a business to business connection.
Yeah, our first meeting with them had nothing to do with, in my opinion, had nothing to do with marketing, or it was just more like, how we do business, how you do business, kind of meeting each other, feeling each other out. And I think that actually probably sold us for the most part on working with them.
Yeah. I mean, you always want to enter into a partnership where everyone that, gets into it is better because of it. And right. I think that's going to be something that happens for both parties. So we're excited to meet with them. So we'll have a lot of cool updates coming out on our social media soon. And if you are not following us, please follow us at Get Ready with Tea and at Three Brooks Bourbon on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be introducing some new content and events coming very soon. So marketing is going to be very exciting, which for me, I enjoy the marketing aspect because there are so many things you can do creatively, right?
Sure.
Like so many ideas that you can bring to life. And we'll have a couple drops coming in the next few months that I think are going to be fun. And if people don't like them, at least I will have a little chuckle over knowing like, oh, that was an epic failure. Wonderful. But keep a lookout for that. I want to talk about our distribution a little bit. It's January, which means it is the absolute worst time of the month.
The worst month for all you fools that like to do dry January.
Yeah. So our distribution channels have been working pretty well. Again, we're only available in New Jersey. We've had our friends Ed, shout out to you, Eddie Mack, and our buddy Dave, DD. What's the name of his company? Cut and Dry Painting.
Cut and Dry Painting.
Yeah. So if you need someone who's into painting and other various activities, check out Cut and Dry Painting. That's our buddy Dave. They have kind of acted as our two, road dogs for the last year or so.
And the time when we pretty much had to come off the road, or most of us at least.
Yeah.
They have, kept the slack going and picked us up a little bit. So that was great.
So they've covered a lot of our tastings. They've serviced accounts. They've gotten some new accounts. So it's been nice to work with our friends and set things up. But we do have, hopefully on the horizon for the next few weeks, a new person entering the chat that's going to help get our tea and our bourbon in more accounts statewide.
Yes. So I don't want to officially say the name yet because it's not all completely done. But we do have somebody that we believe will be starting with us quite soon. We're working out the paperwork and stuff right now. And I'm looking forward to it. He's a lot of experience. He's a cool kid. I think he'll do great with us. And
now's the good time of the year. I mean, it's January, get the foot in the door. And obviously, for us, especially with the tea, all roads are pointing to spring, right? Getting into the summer. So now is the time. I mean, even probably a couple months ago is the time where you start to plant those seeds and get into new establishments and areas. So be on the lookout for us in new accounts. And if you are looking to find us, you can go to getreadywithtea.com or threebrooksbourbon.com, click on the store locator, type in your zip code and see where we are around you. And if we're not in a spot near you, drop us a line.
Call us.
Yep, let us know. We'll get our boy over there, or we'll go over there and get it to your store. But we definitely have more success when people are asking for our product versus us walking in. So
please ask.
I'm excited for that aspect because I think these brands do deserve a little more love to be on shelves around the state. Now, with that being said, we have so much to do in what seems like not a lot of time. I mean, we have some time, but what's going on with our location?
Yeah, time is not our friend right now. It's busy. And, I've been saying to you guys for a while now, it's going to escalate. It's, we're looking at, it's going to get busy quick, and it's getting busy quick. I think on the last podcast, we had just started the demo.
Yeah.
Obviously we're dealing with the holidays, so that slows things down a little bit. We need some questions answered by some people that were away, frankly. So we're waiting for them to get back from vacation, which is hopefully tomorrow. Demo is pretty far along right at this point. We're without you're going to start seeing at some point when we make the announcement, you'll start seeing pictures and
Man, I took some cool pictures yesterday.
all those fun things, which we've been taking pictures, videos,
Yep.
and whatever we can. So you can start seeing some of the transition. But the demo is pretty far along at this point. So actually, I believe this week will be the start of actual building as well.
So we're getting our like walls up, and
I again, don't hold me to this because we're still waiting for some answers, but I think you're going to start seeing some walls this week. I spoke to our builder or their builder, the electrician, plumber, and they're all kind of ready to go to start doing some work, which is good because we need to start doing some work so that we can get all this stuff ready and moving.
So in the building that we have now, and Chuck, stop me if this is too much. I mean, I'm not giving away any location here.
No location,
but one of the things that I always loved about this location was the big, obnoxious stairs that
no longer exist. Those stairs?
In what will be our production room, because you walk in, you go up these stairs, and there's an upstairs, and it's almost like a lofty kind of feel. You can see out the window. I would go up there when the sun would be coming down because the sky looked
cool
awesome
when the sun came
right?
down.
It looked so cool. Chuck and I would stand up there and whisper sweet nothings to each other, but he didn't know I would put the monster voice on him for the podcast. Sweet nothing. Of course, it doesn't work for him today.
We don't have to get the regular voices, the sounds working. I can't have the monster voices today.
But going in there yesterday, they are completely gone, and it has really opened up that space that I can already see.
Yeah, that mezzanine is almost not there anymore. They took a lot of it down.
How did you get up there?
The stairs were there 2 days ago.
Okay.
They just took them down yesterday.
So I was looking, I was like, did Chuck really set up this big ass ladder to climb up there to take a video for us?
I mean, I would. Like I'm not, I'm not afraid to be up on a ladder. Like that was my career for a very long time. So it wouldn't have bothered me to do that. But no, the stairs were still there. So I actually just walked to the top of the stairs and stood on the beam that's there and just kind of did a quick like 360.
So I thought about setting up the ladder yesterday to go up there because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go check it out. I want to try to shoot some content with the products. And then I was like, this is the last thing I need is for something to happen
by yourself.
I'll be hanging from one of the beams by a shoelace, and I won't be on camera in that spot, so no one will know.
Drive down the highway.
And
like, what is that?
Like that would be
that's Shannon hanging from the rafters.
That's going to be the name of our gin. Right? Like Hanging Man Gin or something like that.
Hanging Man's Gin.
Let me tell you a story about this time I tried to see more of our building. But it is beautiful. It looks great. And I think, we're in that spot, and you mentioned it yesterday, that it's all coming to fruition, right?
Yeah, it's nice to see a vision starting to become something that's not a vision.
Right? We had our initial visits a couple of years ago. We had an artist rendering of the space of just what we thought it would look like, and we're looking at them now. We had the blueprints drawn up, the engineers put the things together, and we kind of went back and forth with a few things, and we just be talking with our hands and visualizing where things would be. But now to see the demo happen, now it's even clearer. I mean, even on the one wall where our tasting room is, where it has like the dimensions of the hallway where the door is. I snapped a picture of that.
Yeah.
Because even just seeing that is like, oh man, like this is going to be something else.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks cool. I mean, I think, if they get that answer, like I said, tomorrow, I think they'll start taking the rest of that mezzanine down, which is going to be the big game changer of like how it looks. And then, we got some concrete to be cut this week for all the drains. That door that you're talking about has to get cut out so you can actually get from where the tasting room will be into the distillery. But they're also talking about building that wall between the two where we have it just like, tarps basically right now.
Okay.
So yeah, I think this is going to be a busy week, and then between this week and next week, I think you're going to see like changes that you're like, oh, now I can see like, a lot of the difference.
Yeah. Now, for those of you listening at home or in your car, wherever you may be, don't worry. We are documenting all of this. I know that you can't see this here, and we're not really posting too much about it yet. We've got a few things that we're kind of working on first, but all this will be documented. We'll have some content coming out in the next, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks. We'll have some things maybe sooner in an ideal world.
Yeah, I think tomorrow's our, we're just talking about our marketing meeting. I think we'll probably come up with a little bit of a timeline game plan tomorrow. It's my guess. I'm not sure of that. And then once we have that, we can start deciding on how we want to roll this stuff out. You'll probably see, Shannon and myself doing some videos in there, just like quick little like, hey, check this out kind of stuff. And you'll start seeing more and more, like, probably on our social posts. So definitely follow the socials as far as like those little, 10-second videos just to show you what's going on.
Yeah. And then I have one more thing just for our kind of business updates, and we can take this wherever you want to go. This week, we all got together on New Year's Eve. And if I feel like we do this around the holidays the last couple of years, and we took a little trip
Yes.
to our partner distillery.
Yep.
Are we good with naming names?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, so we went to go see our guy Vlad over at Boardroom Spirits in Pennsylvania. I was thinking about this over the weekend because when you go out there, it's on the way to the Martin Guitar Factory. And I've always said to myself, Chuck and I need to go and check that place out. So
My favorite guitar.
put that on your menu for things to do in 26. We do need to do that. But we
Would
did get to see Vlad. It was very cool to see all of our printed cans stacked up on pallets. I got a couple pictures of that. It was awesome just to kind of see how far we've come, what we're working on, things that are coming down the pipeline. And listen, to be honest, when you're opening a distillery for the first time, a lot of the whiskeys or the bourbons that you have, they need to be aged. But how can we age anything if we're not able to make it until we have our permits? So, a lot of the times when you open up a business like this, you need to source some of your product from somewhere once you're cooking up and getting things moving. So we had some conversations regarding that. But I think one of my favorite things, aside from seeing Vlad and meeting the team and, their expansion alone, is very cool.
Yeah, they've grown. So they started in 2016. They've grown leaps and bounds. They're great guys. They're, I don't want to call them like they're semi mentors at this point for us. They're really, kind of helping us navigate through the, newness of what we're doing. And without getting too specific, we just kind of rolled out a plan for, how they think we should open and get kind of moving in the beginning. Like Shannon said, in the very beginning, if you want to have whiskey, there's no way to do it without having, somebody, age it for you, purchase it from them.
Yep.
So that's kind of where we're at with, our current product. And then we'll start aging all of our stuff, the minute we can turn our still on, which is hopefully sometime in this late spring.
And I kind of like that business model. I mean, I know it's kind of a pain that we can't just come out swinging with all of our own stuff right away. But if you think about it, over the next, I guess I'll even go as far as 10 years, right? We're going to have our opening of our spot. We're going to have the spirits that we make versus the spirits that we bring in and help to produce or people are helping us with. And then while all that's going on, we're going to be cooking up some stuff. We're going to be barreling some things. We're going to be blending some things. And, 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 7, 8, 10, all these things that we've been putting our blood, sweat, and tears into, we'll have like that first moment with, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it was cool when we were out there. We actually had one of his 8-year bourbons that it was kind of a cool story. He didn't even know that it was in the barrel, and then found the barrel and was like, oh, wait, this is an 8-year-old bourbon.
And was that in a cognac barrel?
I don't know off the top of my head.
It was very cool. He's just like, oh, we were moving it and we heard some things sloshing around.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the barrel was huge.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yeah. So, it's cool but you need those, those aged ones too. And obviously we'll have that. And I look forward to having those. So, our layout has a nice, cool barrel rack in the one side, and we'll start putting down some product right away and deciding when we want to release certain ones, but it won't be, we're never going to, release it early just to get an immature spirit that we could sell. That's not something I have any interest in doing. So anything on the whiskey side will definitely be, we're looking to do some cool stuff.
Well, the only immature spirits that we're looking to sell are
sitting at this table
ourselves. And I don't know where it is, but we'll do that one.
See, now I can hear him and he doesn't know how to make them work.
I'm getting rusty.
So 2 weeks does to you.
Coming back from Boardroom on New Year's Eve, and it's been on my mind ever since, is
me.
Obviously you, sweetheart. But the branding opportunities, and the storytelling and the creativity. And I think this is, for me, the fun part, where anyone who's a creative type, well, now you have a blank canvas, you have a clean slate. And obviously when you're, working on a business plan, you want everything to kind of fall in line. There's usually like a big umbrella and everything is under that. But there are so many different opportunities to do things. And on the ride home, it was me, you, and Mike and John. And we started shooting out like branding names for different spirits or bottles or cocktails. Mm-hmm. And the thing that gets me the most is no matter how much time we've spent together, and even the four of us, no offense to Ian and Eric and Jared, I've known you guys a lot longer,
Right.
but all of us, even in this circle, and I'm sure, in your relationship with the other guys, now when we have this opportunity to brand something and we need to tell a story, well, none of us are the kind of people that are going to look you in the face and BS you and tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And this is where the vulnerability comes in, where my idea to kind of uncover everyone's childhood or memories or significant things in their lives to pump into our story is very cool. So when we kind of were like think tanking this thing in the car, I was like, man, I've known these guys for so long, and there are still so many things that I don't know about you, right? Like, what neighborhood did you grow up in, or what would be an important image for you? What's an important date or month for you? Just those kinds of ideas and trying to spitball something to brand.
Yeah.
And I think that the opportunities are endless. And with these 7 guys that we have, just the ability to connect to things, connect to people, especially in this state. I mean,
recall experiences.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of cool experiences in this group that we've all done. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of. I think it may be more of an issue to hone in on certain things as
Right.
opposed to finding certain things. If we really kind of dig collectively, I think we'll find a lot of cool stuff.
And I think the value, from my perspective, is in those conversations, right? The value might not be the finished bottle with the story on the back and the label and what it looks like. I think the value is in the 7 of us getting together and talking it out.
Mhm.
And that's only going to help us not only get more familiar with each other, but that's all going to show through the business. And I think that's the one thing that I'm really excited for, is the fact that we can really tell any story that we want to tell right
Yes.
now. And that's going to be, in my opinion, what carries this thing forward, is our ability to tell stories,
tell a
and,
story,
and
sure.
give the experience.
Yeah, I think that's something we all kind of can do pretty well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I thought we even just in that, hour or so car ride, threw out a bunch of cool stuff.
Oh, my phone is already loaded with notes. It's been on my head ever since. I've been Googling things. I've been thinking about other creative opportunities for partnerships and imagery and things like that. So
Yeah, I think I might be looking more forward to like a lot of the partnership kind of stuff. Like I'm looking forward to kind of digging in with a bunch of other guys and seeing like what we can do collectively and what we can do, picking each other's brains. And, I enjoy that kind of stuff. So I think that would be fun.
Well, there's always been this mentality, especially with you. And I know I follow the same thought process, or even my actions too, is that when you think about the things you love or the people you love or the businesses you love, you want to see them do well too.
Yeah, of course.
So like if we can partner up with all the things that we love or the things we're into, that's only going to make everything richer. I can't forget exactly what you had said to me years ago about, it was about like bringing your friends along for the ride, right? Like not being in the same room together. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was
being at the same
I don't
table.
want to sit at a table eating while all of my friends can't get to the table. Like
Right.
I want to sit with everybody and eat at the same table. So that's kind of that's my opinion. Like there are guys out there that just want to get themselves to a level which is great, and they're very like individualized, and that's not me. I kind of want to see everybody kind of come with me, and not like, hey, stand behind me and we'll get through. Like I want
Right.
you to be standing next to
Yeah.
me and we get to the same place. That's kind of the way I think.
And that's powerful. And I think our entire group has that mentality, where even if you look at all this, the work that we have going on, the people that we're hiring, the contracts that we're putting out there, we draw from our network first. And then when we don't have someone, we move on. And then those people become our circle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even within the distillery, like the stuff that we do there, like we try and give, any work that we have to the people that we care about getting work to.
Yeah.
I want to see them do well too. So, you trust them on one hand, and then on the other hand, you also want to see them do well.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
You'll see that most of the people that we have hired to, or asked to help us, I don't even want to say hired necessarily, are all, people that we've known before for the most part. I mean, obviously there's some people that, we had to go kind of outside the circle a little bit, but we always go to the people we know first. And that's just because we want to see them, doing something and doing well.
And it's nice to work with people that especially if you get along with them, I mean, it's always a pleasure. I think
it's definitely a lot nicer when you get along with them.
Right. Well, we've all had that. There are certain people that I love dearly that I'll never work with ever, but that's life. That is life, right? Anything else we want to talk about business wise? That we've had a big few weeks.
We're getting to the point where there's just so much that's happening that I feel like I need to start filtering my brain and writing stuff down because there probably is more things that we need to go over, but I think that's the bulk of it right
Okay.
now. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, Fast and Furious. The next podcast, you're probably going to hear about a whole bunch of stuff that happened in that week or so span.
Good times, man.
Good
I'm enjoying all this. While it's a little stressful and nerve wracking, we didn't even start to talk about the TTB yet. We'll save that for another time.
TTB.
But it's been cool. Now, I did have the opportunity to try some new spirits over this break. We did talk about one before we started this show, and I just want to make sure I get the name right. So my friend Karen that I work with, who is a certified G, true Jacksonian here in New Jersey, hooked me up with this bottle of Iron Smoke 4-grain bourbon. And it is easily one of my favorite things I've tried recently. Now, I've never had this bourbon before, so I can see why she would have picked this one out for me just looking at the label. It's got like a cool bald skeleton on there and a suit and what looks to be a corncob pipe, which I do appreciate.
Is there a button nose?
Little corncob there for the bourbon. But it is delicious, dude.
I have always liked Iron Smoke. So, full disclosure, everybody, we've talked about the Whiskey Guild, and Iron Smoke has done a lot of our shows. I'm a big 4-grain bourbon guy. So
good.
That also, Quartz Mountain, their 4-grain is really
QMD,
good, right?
Shout out again.
I'm a big fan of Iron Smoke. I think it's one of the better bourbons out there for sure.
And there's just something about that 4-grain, as soon as I got that first nose on it and had that sip, I was like, oh,
a lot of flavor in a 4-grain.
I enjoy it. I really do. So I wanted to just say what's up to Iron Smoke. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see you at the next Whiskey Guild event because I am going to commandeer your table and enjoy all of your samples for everyone else. Don't worry. That's going to be me on the bottle next. I'm going to be the skeleton with the corncob pipe. It's going to be good. So Iron Smoke 4-grain bourbon whiskey was delicious. If you can, get out to a store and check them out. They were awesome.
Yes.
And then I was able to take a little trip to Hershey this week with the family. We wanted to do the holiday lights thing, the holidays.
Yeah.
And
they still have them up?
They still had them up. So we were supposed to go last week, but we got all that snow. So we did not go. And I had bought tickets from someone that I work with that gets like a discount on them and you have to use them for the season. So we went during the summer, but I left the tickets at home. So we had to go again. It was cool, but we went out to Hidden Still. We stayed at a hotel that was right around the corner and they made some really, really cool cocktails. I had a black walnut old fashioned, which was awesome. I also had an old fashioned that they made with rye.
A lot of old fashioned. We were talking about this last night. Actually, I was Rich invited me to his house last night to just hang out for a little bit, and we were talking about old fashions because he's a huge old fashioned guy.
Yes, he is. I was thinking of him when I got him actually,
and I was saying to him because he didn't like. I forgot what bourbon we were using, but it was a little bit rye heavy, and he said he doesn't really like rye. And I said that's kind of ironic because a lot of old fashions they use rye for the extra flavor, for that little bit of spiciness. So yeah. I like rye. Well, did I give you my favorite rye when you were here the other day? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
Yeah, it was good.
That is my favorite rye.
So Hidden Still Distilleries in Hershey, Pennsylvania. A lot of people think of Hershey. They just think of candy.
Is it part of Hershey or is it like it's just in the township?
It's just in the town. Okay. It's right on Chocolate Avenue. So I was thinking I'm going to rock down to Chocolate Avenue. Right, they're gonna take me higher. Yeah, which is great. So I mean,
little Eddie Grant reference.
On their lampposts, they have Hershey Kisses.
Yeah, I knew that,
which is super cool. But in the distillery, which I think is really great for them, at the Chocolatier and its select restaurants at Hershey Park, they do have Hidden Still spirits.
That's cool.
On their menu for their cocktails. So in the distillery, they have with their lighting over tables, they look like little Hershey Kisses, which is like a cool little nod to the park. I talked to one of the managers there because I asked the bartender, what their deal was with their tequila. And, when you walk into this place, it just looks like a big bar with a restaurant, but you don't see any distillery equipment. So the first time I went there over the summer, I was like, all right, these guys are just bringing juice in and bottling it or whatever it may be, which their restaurant was fantastic. So I was talking to the bartender a bit and, they were very busy. So it was like, oh, if you go ask the guy over there, he'll talk to you. So I probably spent maybe 20 minutes talking to this guy just about their inception and where they started versus where they've been. And they have a pretty solid operation. They've been going for at least, I think, 15 years. And he was telling me that they started distilling their own spirits with just the idea to open up a restaurant.
Mhm.
And then they ended up going to distribution and they started getting into Hershey Park.
Because PA is so different than New Jersey.
Right. But here's the thing that struck me, because I had asked them if they sold packaged goods. They had a couple of beers from the brewery Tired Hands that I love that I wanted to bring back to the hotel.
Oh, so they sell beer there?
Yes.
Is this what you're getting to?
Yes. So when I was leaving, they would only sell me their products, which, okay, this is the distillery side. You can only sell what you make or packaged goods to go. I get it. And, you know, for those of you at home, if you're not familiar, liquor laws vary state by state, and Pennsylvania and New Jersey are very different when it comes to liquor laws. I mean, here in New Jersey, you can go to a liquor store where you can buy beer, wine, spirits.
Yeah, you can't buy beer in like a supermarket here.
Right.
But most states, you go to the ABC store to buy liquor or spirits, and you go to like 7-Eleven or the grocery store to buy beer.
Or they'll have beer and wine stores, but you can get it at gas stations, right?
Yeah, almost every place has like a license to sell those.
So the manager was telling me that they have a DSP, which is a distillery permit, so they can produce spirits, but then that they also bought a liquor license for the restaurant.
Okay.
So that they could sell not only their own cocktail menu and spirits, but also have wine, beer, and other spirits from around town, which I think is pretty smart because their bar was packed.
Well, out there,
it was packed.
A liquor license probably isn't crazy expensive. Whereas in New Jersey, I mean, around us, you're looking at probably, you know, close to $1 million, depending on what town it is. Yeah. It's sold town by town.
I mean, he did say that their liquor license was pretty expensive. Okay. But then he was kind of telling me their story in terms of how they sourced their tequila and how it was never meant to go to distribution, but now it's going there. They also partnered up with Hard Rock, and they have RTS ready to serve mixed drinks that are Hard Rock branded.
Okay.
And he was telling me a little bit about his distribution deal that they're working on with a pretty prominent business. I don't want to put it out there in case it's not out there.
Yeah.
But it was just such a joy to go to this place that it was almost kind of in between what we're going to be and where Boardroom is, where they have their restaurant side. And he told me there are two entities. One is the restaurant side, and then when you walk in and you want to buy spirits, that's the distillery side. So it's cool how they have two different business entities, and then the distillery is on a separate campus behind them.
Okay.
So that's why you don't see anything. But, you know, one of my favorite things ever since we started this business plan is that every time I travel, that's where I'm looking to go. I'm looking to see what other people are doing, hear about their story, you know, their branding and their labeling, and even their RTDs, their ready to drink cocktails that they had canned up. I have one at home that I forgot to bring to you, but they have a pretty solid line. And I had the one that I'll give you is the bourbon and ginger. And I'm not usually a bourbon and ginger guy. I mean, I'm going more towards where you are, where my favorite cocktail is just
bourbon.
Three Brooks. So neat.
Just pour it out of the bottle.
But it was good. And so, you know, we'll have to check those guys out. And in talking to him, it was like, hey, here's my card. If you ever have any questions, I'm an open book. And
see, that's awesome. That's the kind of guys I want to get on this show. Yeah. Like those are the kinds of guys you want to collaborate with, and you know, because there'll be a point where people will want to pick our brains on things, you know, and that's awesome. I hope we get that.
Yeah, I mean, even talking to someone about sourcing New Jersey grains led to an opportunity that I'll discuss with you after we're done here. But you know, when you just start talking about things and then you tap into someone else's network or someone else's experience, and I think that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, because then you're in that net, you're part of that network, right? Like you're sharing ideas, they're sharing ideas, which is great. That's how businesses are built and how they get bigger. The people that are like, oh, I don't want to give these guys away my secrets or whatever, they're the ones that typically don't last long in any business, you know, in my opinion. The guys that want to be helpful, and they're the friendly guys that are probably going to last for a long time.
And that's where we want to be. And I think that's where we already are in our other realms and different things that we're doing, is we're already those people, you know? Yeah. So I'm excited once we're up and running to welcome either up and comers or old timers and OGs in the distillery nation here in Jersey, just to come in and check it out. And, you know, I was at Icarus Brewing last week, ran into our boy, Mike Xavier. He seems to be the mayor.
He's there every week.
Believe it or not, someone made Icarus Christmas ornaments, and Icarus is a brewery in Brick. in New Jersey here, and someone made Christmas ornaments, but they printed his face on one of them. So he's on their Christmas tree. He was telling me with like all the bartenders, the brewers, the owners,
And Mike.
and his is like right towards the top.
That's so
because
funny.
he's like an OG. He got in on the ground floor. But even when you go into a place like that, they've got products that they've collaborated with, with other breweries. And I was talking to the one guy, asking him a couple questions about his merchandising and just kind of how they get their ideas together, because they've got some really cool stuff that they brand.
Yeah.
And I had mentioned our little thing that we're working on, and hey, come on back anytime you want. We'd love to talk.
Yeah.
It's just that's such a good feeling when you talk to people that are welcoming and supportive.
Yeah, for sure.
Super cool. That's all I got on that. Hidden Still was cool. I don't think I went to any other distilleries over the break. If I did, I don't remember them, and it's probably why I have a new car now. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I hope that is not why you have a new car.
You never heard that. No, it was the radiator problem.
Yeah, I haven't been to distilleries in a while. Like, there's a bunch on my radar that I want to get to. We'll have to. That's actually a conversation I want to have.
So that's my thing. I always go to all of them when I'm not in New Jersey. And when I'm in New Jersey, I never make it the priority to check them all out, because there are a few.
Probably a good 5 or 10 more in New Jersey that we, in my opinion, still need to get to. Go check them out, see how they're doing. We'll talk about that.
I need to go.
I think we need a tour another night of. We did the distillery tour that one night.
I need to get that pink peppercorn gin back in my life.
Yes.
Was that what distillery is that? The Newark one.
All Points.
Yes,
Yeah,
I need to get there. I need to get that pink peppercorn.
So All Points, I don't know if they've changed it, but they didn't have a open tasting room.
Okay,
it's by appointment only.
All right, well, better get on the menu for 26.
So, but I will talk to them and see if we can all go in there and just check them out.
Yeah, just point me right to the vat where the pink peppercorn is, and I'll put on my bathing suit. And
remember that bourbon there? That bourbon was killer.
Man, so good. Making spirits is cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good time. And I think I'm very appreciative that I'm at a point now where I kind of know. It's not just...
I think I know.
It's not just a mouthful of fire. I sort of know what's going on here, but, that's part of the journey. Yeah. I don't ever want to fully know everything. I want to continue to experience and be inquisitive with those things. So Distillery Tour 26, here we come.
Yes, sir.
We got a couple more minutes. We've been going for a while. That sports chat really got us fired up.
Over.
That was a good one.
We normally have a music chat that long, and this is a sports chat.
So let's talk about music a little bit before we wrap this thing up. It's 2026. In 2025, I saw some really, really great concerts. And Chuck, you know me, man. I will always cancel whatever I'm doing to go to a concert.
Yeah.
I go to so many every year, and, I'm sure my family's happy that the Grateful Dead guys aren't playing too much, because those tickets are expensive. And I'm able to go to like the cheaper mid-range $30 to $70 a ticket concerts.
That's cheaper. That's not even mid-range anymore.
What do you have coming up in 2026? I know there's one that we are both very excited for.
Yeah, that's the one. That's actually the only concert I have on the books right now. I mean, there's a couple that I want to see. I'm waiting to see, obviously where we live, they haven't announced a lot of the summer stuff yet. So we're waiting on those. But we are going to Journey this year.
Can't wait.
My first time. I've always been like I don't know if I want to see it without Steve Perry.
No, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
And then Shannon and I are both big Journey guys. We sing it at every event we go to, and so I'm looking forward to going with you, man.
So I've seen those guys a few times, and I always
go twice, right?
Yeah, we have Trenton tickets to the Cure Arena, which we will be there in March. And I've also got another idea that I want to discuss with you about a business opportunity. So putting that on the podcast. So when I listen back to this in like 2 months, I'll remember. And then we have in May, we have the Atlantic City show. So we're going to see them twice. And they are doing a massive tour that it's like this entire year is only half their tour, because they are allegedly hanging it up. That this is like their final run.
Here's one thing I'm kind of a little tired of is like, just tell me if you're really hanging it up. So like, here's a good example. I was supposed to go see the Eagles last year.
Right. Yeah.
Which honestly, if there's any one thing I'd still love to do, they just announced shows through the spring. It's not realistic for me to go out there because they're in Vegas at the Sphere, but I really would like to go see them. I was supposed to go see them last year. It was their last 10 shows they were going to play at the Sphere. I bought tickets, and then some stuff happened, and I wound up selling my tickets, which worked out. Like as far as I got my money back on them, whatever. But I would have liked to have gone. It's not realistic when they're in Vegas. A little hard. But had I had known that they were going to spread that out to another year of
Yeah,
shows,
another
I might have
residency.
considered buying it like this spring and had a chance to maybe go. And I don't know that I would have, but so the Eagles are definitely one of those shows I would have loved to have seen, and they're my white whale. I've never seen them.
They'll be around longer than we will. Don't worry. And some form.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're spreading thin a little bit as far as the Eagles go.
Well, I mean,
they're running out of Eagles.
Well, it's like
the nests are,
It's like the band Foreigner. They also had a farewell tour last year.
Yeah, I've seen Foreigner before.
I've seen them a couple times, and I love them.
I saw them years ago. It's got to be 15 years, maybe.
Their original singer, Lou Graham,
Mm-hmm.
killer. He leaves the band. This guy, Kelly Hansen, comes in.
He left too, didn't he?
Kelly Hansen just left.
Yeah, I just saw that.
When Foreigner tours, there is not one original member in the band.
Is there not?
And they're still touring.
I thought there was one guy that was still in the band.
No.
That's
well,
crazy.
they had the guitar player, the guy Mick.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his last name. He looked like an old Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Right? For Hot Blooded,
Yep.
He is no longer a touring member of the band.
That's crazy.
But I don't really see them putting out any new music. So,
well, it's not the band anymore. Right?
No. But I mean, think of it this way: when we're, in 30 years, when we're not working anymore, and if our kids are running the distillery,
is it still the distillery?
Sure, it is. We're just getting it on the back end and enjoying our lives. Hopefully.
Yeah,
that's what I like to think of the band Foreigner, when these guys like retire and then, Foreigner's still making money. These guys are going to get paid to play, but all those dudes that, if they're still alive, they're still getting their check too.
Yeah, the coolest show that we saw last year was The Sacred Souls. I actually liked the venue. It was the first time I was ever in there.
White Eagle Hall in Jersey City.
That was cool.
That's a really good spot.
I would go see them again this year in a heartbeat if they're around. It seems like they're starting to get a little bit bigger, which scares me a little bit because it might be a little harder to see them. But yeah, that was a great show. I mean, that was a great show. That was a really good show.
That was a good one. Duran Jones and the Indications was another solid one in September.
On my list of somebody I'd like to see.
There were a lot of good shows in 25 that I saw. In 26 coming up, we've got Journey. I also just bought tickets, and for those of you that know, the bass player of the Grateful Dead, Phil Lesh, passed away not too long ago, and his birthday is March 15th. So is mine. Every year he would play on his birthday at the Capitol Theater in New York, and last year his son Graham Lesh put together like an all-star band as like a tribute, and they just announced it about 2 weeks ago, and I got my tickets. I'll be going again, Capitol Theater, March 15th.
Nice.
That'll be a fun one to go check out. It's on a Sunday night, so I'm a little bummed out. So I will be very tired the next day going into work on a Monday morning, or just not. Sorry, I'm sick. What else do we have coming up in 26? There's not really any.
I haven't seen a lot of announcements yet. That's obviously I do the See Here Now tour, See Here Now festival every year. Well, I would likely go this year.
Foo Fighters are touring 26, right?
Oh, I'm going to Foo Fighters. I forgot about Foo Fighters.
They're doing that stadium tour.
Yep.
The Philly date, the band Mannequin Pussy that I love.
Oh, they were good. I saw them at the See Here Now festival.
They will be opening on that Philly run, which I think is super cool. That band is really doing something, and they're from Philly. Which is
they got to learn to work their set a little bit better. Their opening song last year, I was like, oh, they're okay. And then like it got really good after that, and I was like, you guys got to move that song somewhere else in the set.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be coming out with that. But they were good. They were very good. Actually, I don't remember the name of the band. There was another all-female band right after them that was really good. I was actually mad that I missed. Like, I came in halfway through this, so we went over to get like food, came back over, and I was like, oh, I wish I stayed here. These guys were great. Like, they were really good.
Four Non-Blondes.
No,
weren't they on?
They were there last year.
Yeah,
I saw them last year.
Which good for them. They've got a resurgence coming back. The internet has done wonders for musical careers, and we didn't even talk about Stranger Things yet. Did you watch all of it yet?
I did. Let's maybe save it another week,
for the
because
next,
in case we throw any spoilers out there,
but
we give them another week to do it.
With, technology and television and the internet, there are all these songs from 60s, 70s, 80s that are all coming back because now the younger generation is seeing them either in a TikTok clip or in like a Stranger Things episode. And then, their streams are jumping up 400 or 500%. And it's a lucrative deal now for some of these.
Waiting for the
bands.
80s music revival. There was actually a cool 80s tour last year, which was like Rick Springfield. Who else was in the tour? There was like 4 guys, 5 guys, and they actually switched it out every couple shows.
Okay.
That I would have liked to have gone to see too, but I didn't get around to it. Last year was a busy year. I hope I get to. My goal is to go to more shows this year, for sure.
You will. I mean, I'll just start dragging you to the ones that you don't know.
Yeah.
I always have a good time.
I love to go to new stuff. Yeah,
find myself in a mosh pit somewhere, or leaving early because it's lame, but it's always a good time. I mean, that's how I know that I'm getting old. Is that I'm like, you know what? I could skip this band. I'd rather go home and sit on the couch.
I'll tell you
fall
what, I
asleep.
liked White Eagle Hall so much. I would go see a show there just even if I didn't really know them.
Okay.
Just to go say.
I'll
Like,
check the calendar.
I thought they were pretty cool. Like it was a cool venue.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty neat spot.
It's a good location.
Yeah, that
Jersey
restaurant
City.
was cool too, right next to it.
Yeah, that was cool. And it like the vibe, like the music didn't match what the look was, and like the
Not
menu.
at all. And the menu was just so different. It was like stuff I had never really even would think to put together. You know, like,
Right. It was like an Asian fusion,
like an Asian Italian,
Yeah.
like American bistro. I don't even know how to explain it. It was very different. It
cool
was
cocktails.
everything was good
And
there.
they are a vinyl bar. So you come in, they're spinning records.
Oh, speaking of that, I got to talk about that for a second. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Maybe.
Yeah, spinning records there, and it's cool. Speaking of records, I didn't get out to any record store over the break, which is disappointing because
I gotta go check out Freehold. I haven't been in there
Yeah,
yet.
you should go check them out. Borough Records on Throckmorton. They're really good. I had heard this song at a gas station over break, and I'm sure you know it. The song "More Today Than Yesterday."
I love you more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By Spiral Staircase.
Spiral Staircase.
And it was just one of those things where I also didn't know that they did For Once in My Life.
Oh.
That's
There's got to be another version.
I'm sure there is. But they put out this album in 1969. And
it's a Stevie Wonder song.
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking of it. Yeah.
So I'm in this gas station. The song comes on, and I was like, holy crap, I feel like a kid again, because I remember listening to oldies.
Mhm.
My mom or my grandma would have oldies on, and in Southern California, like the soul and oldies vibe is just always there. So that song was always a big part of my life, just hearing it. And I'm at this gas station, and I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm pumping my own. Let's go. And I'm just immediately transported to like a flood of childhood memories.
Yeah.
And then I got in the car, got back to the hotel, got on my phone, and ran through Discogs, which if you collect vinyl, you should be on Discogs. It's a website app where you can catalog your collection, look and see what's for sale. You can also check out the current value of what you have versus what other people have. And I couldn't believe that their album in 1969 is selling in near mint condition for $7.
Wow.
And I listened to the whole album on the way home, and it's just like something that if you collect vinyl and you like music, this is one that you should own. So this is my quest for the next couple of months is to, which I mean, it's $7. So what am I? It's not a quest. I just need to get it. But
It's not really a quest.
but I'm also the guy that likes to go to the store and find it.
Yeah,
you know, that's to me, that's better than unless I'm buying it from an artist directly.
Yeah.
I like to go and find it in the wild.
There's a really cool record store by NYU that we go to. I gotta take you in there one day. Check it out. They have it's upstairs, downstairs. It's huge.
Did we discuss NYU at all?
We did.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago. Yep.
Yeah. Congrats again.
Thank you.
NYU.
Well,
That's
not
exciting.
congrats to me. Congrats to her.
Well,
But
congrats to you. You're going to have to work for the next 30 plus probably.
I don't have a choice either way to do whether or not I'm like this is just adding to it.
Even if I did, I'm getting out of the house. Sorry, ladies.
But it's fine. I mean, let's do a little bit of a music thing here. Like when you say songs that remind you of your childhood, like I have a few songs that like when I hear them on the radio, I'm like, oh, this makes me like it literally takes you to like one spot. Right?
Yeah.
Like when I hear Seals and Crofts Summer Breeze.
Okay.
That song, you know that song?
Yeah.
It like instantly makes me think of like being a kid in the back of my mother's like station wagon at like a farm stand in like Colts Neck. Checking out like there's like the soda machine, like the Pepsi machine with the glass bottles in it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like that makes me just think of that time period. Like, and there's definitely probably 5 or 10 songs that do that to me instantly. But that as soon as you said that, it actually made me think of that instantly and brought me back there.
Yeah, and those are the cool moments. I mean, I think everyone's got those things. I know sometimes with scents, if I smell something, it can trigger a memory.
It'll make me think of a seasonal thing typically. Like there's not a lot of sense that like when I smell it, I'm like, oh, that makes me think of 1989 or something like that. But there is like certain sense that when I smell it, I'm like, oh, that makes me think of maybe like childhood Christmas. Like fake snow, like the spray snow.
Yep.
Makes me think of like childhood Christmas.
That you would put on the glass.
Yeah. You put it on like
so
your
it looks
window.
frosted.
We'd spray it on the apartment windows, mainly so we don't have to see out.
Yeah. I mean, I think we could have an entire day, an 8-hour podcast episode if I started to talk about the songs that remind me of
I could
parts,
definitely.
and we would be here all day.
Yeah, no doubt.
But it's nice. And I think, those things that we experience now is what we're looking to do
for our kids.
With our kids and with our business as well. I mean, I think every time I have a Three Brook sip, if it's been a while, I'm like, man, I remember the first time I tried this. and we were so excited.
You know, we drank a bottle of Three Brooks last night, and yes, a bottle. There was a couple of stuff.
Nice.
And we were like there, and Rich is like, oh, like I got this. What do you want to do? And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but Three Brooks is the best one here. Let's do the Three Brooks. Like, I really genuinely love drinking it. It's so good. Yeah, I love those moments of just sitting there sipping on some Three Brooks. It's good.
I'm with you there. I mean, it's definitely in my rotation of one.
One of one.
Meaning it's
I'm out. Go get Three Brooks.
Yeah. All right, Chuck. I think I've said everything I need to say for today. I do have our baseball picks here for free agents. We've got 4.
We did 4?
Is
there a
4.
fifth one that we could do?
We did Tucker, Bichette, Bellinger, Valdez.
I'm trying to think who would be the next big one. Those are the big ones right now.
I think you could talk about trades, but I think that's too expansive in terms of a scenario. So I think those are good.
I think those are good.
We'll see what happens, and if we have an update on the next cast, we'll share it, and hopefully we'll have a guest with us for the next time. And I'm gonna drag him a little bit. We did ask John to be on this podcast today, and he declined. So if you see John out in the wild,
yet again,
ask him what time he's going to show up to the D Street bar to record the pod.
Wait till the day that we just suddenly like a flash mob podcast him. I'll be sitting at the table at the store.
20 people.
Hold on 1 second. We just throw all the equipment down.
Put the table over him.
Guess what? You're on a podcast.
I mean, I'll even do a ventriloquist dummy. I'll just make like a Ronnie puppet from Howard Stern. I'll just do a little John puppet. And
John, we just want your pretty face on here.
Yeah.
You can just sit here and stare at the camera.
I want to talk about Godsmack with you, John.
We'll bring up Godsmack.
Brother.
He's a big Sully fan. Not Sullenberg, the other Sully.
Yeah, Monsters Inc. Sully. He's a big Disney Pixar guy. All right, Chuck. I think we're ready to wrap this thing up. You want to play it out with this song again? Let's see how it goes. We will catch you all.
I can hear it now.
That's right. Check us out. GetReadyWithT.com, ThreeBrooksBourbon.com. We are on Instagram, Face page, and all those other things. Hit us up. We'd love to hear from you. Catch you next time.
See you, kids.